Howdy y'all, and howdy my Yuri Katsura 8383. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Today we are going to finish the rest of the trial for Danganronpa MAUVE Chapter 2. It's the term Fallen Angel in the title. I like literally like an hour before I had the stream, I went through and fast forwarded through all the trial from where I last saved, so we can get back to where we left off at the argument armament. And I went and just finished the argument armament. I mean, last time we recorded, it crashed right when I was inputting the arrow keys to hit the last like final piece of evidence. So I just went and did that. And we saw the stripping of Rintaro Tomoe, off screen. And I noticed that after I was done being distracted by his beauty, I noticed that he actually was the pose that he had in the end was based off of the Fallen Angel portrait painting by the French painter. I thought it was Michelangelo, but apparently not. When I looked it up, it's by someone else. But I noticed, like, wait a second, that's familiar. So yeah, he had like this on. He had like the Psychopomp Grim Reaper outfit, and then when we got that first layer off, he went and had like this quote-unquote biblically accurate angel style outfit, and then now he's the fallen angel, Lucifer, Satan. So I thought that was very interesting. I like the symbolism in that. So let us just go ahead and get on right into it. Yeah, so I just want to make sure it wasn't going to crash after I did the argument armament, and it did not, so I'm good. I'm glad about that. So I've not seen what happens after this. Oh, okay, that's a lie. I went to see how much time I had left in the trial on YouTube last time, just to gauge if I wanted to try to reboot the stream, like reboot the game on the same stream of this new stream. And I saw that his hair got disheveled and his shirt is exposed and things like that. So I did see the sprite, but that's it. I've only seen the sprite. That's it. I haven't seen anything else. This can't be happening. I need to spend this beauty on spread. Sorry, not spend. I need to spread this beauty to more people. Tomoe, I guess I can take this as a confession, right? I feel like you should stop saying anything. There's no way to overcome this. This might be proof that the philosophy I've pursued over nearly 2 decades amounts to just as much. I can't hold on any longer, as you keep pressing me to such logical reasoning until the very end. Yeah, I should have expected it. Oh, that's right. Come to think of it, I'd like to hear what the story's about. What Mr. Miyuki refuted at the end. To explain that, you first need to understand why Tomoe cleaned up the tissues. What? You can seduce that reason too? He looks so different like this. Like his eyes look different. Is it just me? No, he has like the whites under his eye. They're not visible in his regular outfit, but his regular sprite, but he has the whites underneath the eye. And his mouth is different too. He has like a more, I don't know, clever. I don't know how to describe it. More clever mouth. Of course. If the deductions we've made so far are correct, the culprit must have gone to considerable trouble to completely erase all traces of it. In fact, just bringing that out from the scene is an action that takes a considerable amount of risk. In other words, for the culprit, that toilet paper is an important item that must be disposed of. Did they leave a fingerprint or something? If that were the case, I don't think there'd be any reason to take the risk and hide it. No matter how big it is, it would probably be the size of typical toilet paper, so you need to just gently rub and wipe the surface. Is that so? But then, I don't really understand why the toilet paper becomes such an important item. You're right. We don't even have a sophisticated forensic tools to begin with. It doesn't seem like there's any reason for the item the culprit didn't even prepare to suddenly become such a crucial evidence. No, it's something that was already mentioned. It's the same reason why they cleaned up the tissues used to wipe the nosebleed, remember? Oh, I forgot, sorry. I don't have the audio on. Now the audio's on, so now y'all can hear. Sorry about that. The tissues to wipe the nosebleed? You mean they were trying to erase the possibility of a nosebleed from our minds just to frame Jumonji as the culprit? Oh, I wonder if the culprit thought that Bizuki brought the toilet paper because of the nosebleed. So they thought if they leave it there, it might remind people of a nosebleed, so they cleaned it up with the toilet paper she used to wipe the nosebleed. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Even though we knew that Chizuki's toilet paper originally had been with her, given the cautious nature of the culprit, they wouldn't have left it behind. In the end, that precaution backfired on you, didn't it? From the culprit's perspective, having you, Jumonji, be the one accused was the easiest outcome, after all. Well, for me, it's a huge relief that I wear glasses with strap chains. In a way, from the above information in mind and listen to what I have. Anyway, keep the above information in mind and listen to what I have to say. As Tomoe said, if it was possible to dispose of the evidence even after full 47, the very important condition that the culprit is a man might not hold weight. Now here's the thing. Again, I said this last time, but it just feels like if he hadn't done all this, he would have been caught. Like, if he hadn't tried to wipe the thing up, like clean up the mess, if he hadn't tried to remove the toilet paper, if he had just left it as it was, tried to change the weapon, if he had just left everything as it was, I feel like he wouldn't have been caught. I don't know, is it just me, or is it is there a reason why he had to do all this, why it was reasonable to do all this? Because I just feel like he just made it easier for people to deduce it as well. I haven't been able to gather evidence yet that Eigo and Misaki were each at their respective places in the warehouse and the women's locker room. However, when considering the spots left on the back of the murder weapon case, the possibility is, as expected, negated. If that's the case... There's something new here. Eigo turned the weapon over and spoke. There were also blood stains on the back of the case, which looked distinctly different from those on the front. It's because the culprit put the murder weapon down on the floor, leaving blood stains. Why? I'm not sure. The hint is Shitanda's experiment. Again with that? Are you surprised by something that you did yourself? There must be someone who remembers. I remember. Let's see. Shitanda knelt on the floor again, placed his fang on the first circle, and rubbed it vigorously. But no matter how much he rubbed, no more blood came out. Additional information. Blood on the carpet will completely soak within 10 minutes and will no longer stain. The blood stains on the floor won't come out after 10 minutes no matter what you do, that's what he said. But the fact that the weapon was found on the floor, the murder weapon lying on the floor, so you're saying that the clean attempt took place shortly after Kizuki started bleeding from her nose within 10 minutes? It's just before 4:30 p.m. when the culprit left the scene, and yet it It's already 47 minutes, and what have we discovered? There exists a gap of more than 10 minutes. So, you're saying that the false accusation to frame Jumonji as the culprit was carried out when Tomoe first visited the scene. Right. To add to that, he probably disposed of the toilet paper and the tissues he used to wipe her nose at the same time. If both of these conditions are missing, there would be no problem framing Jumonji as the culprit. In other words, the culprit likely tried to dispose of the toilet paper roll around 4:30. We can rule out the possibility that the culprit remained in the scene at the 4:47 p.m. and only attempted to dispose of the toilet paper. Okay, I guess he did all this because he's trying to frame Jumonji, but I don't know. He didn't have to do all this, man, really. Even if that's not exactly that, if the body is discovered during the 18 to 30 minute window when the alibi is being established, the cover-up operation will be in vain. In other words, framing Jumonji as the culprit would have been an incredibly stable insurance policy that wouldn't even require an alibi. Therefore, it is beneficial to get rid of the toilet paper as quickly as possible. If they were trying to retrieve it after 47 minutes and get caught at the scene, as the culprit, one would end up unable to employ any tricks or disguise tactics. Shitanda, what exactly did you foresee the moment you saw the body? Are you seriously suggesting you prepared for this and persistently dug into the blood traces just like that? I must say, that's quite terrifying. Who knows? You can think of it as either stumbling upon clues without thinking or figuring out at once. Whatever you like. In a way, with the last remaining possibility of the block, you have to accept it gracefully. You're the culprit, Danganronpa Tomoe. That's right, I'm the culprit. I killed Kizuki. The guilt had completely vanished from Tomoe's expression. It seemed impossible to find even a similar emotion. Are you laughing? So, this is the end. What a long and winding road it's been. I never imagined they'd cover their tracks so intricately. If it weren't for Mr. Shitanda and Mr. Miyuki, we would have been fooled and put us dead. That was a close call. Why are you leaving out my name? I should be included too. She's always trying to take credit for someone doing something good. Can I ask you a favor? Huh? What is it? It's not that I want to be difficult. I was wondering if you could recap the sequence of events in the incident for me. What tricks he used, where the culprit saw what, when you went back to the scene. My head feels like it's about to split. I don't get why you don't understand. What exactly is so difficult that you're whining about? I'm sorry for being stupid. Still, I did my best. I suppose there's nothing we can do. If I explain it clearly, it'll be straightforward. Since we've already identified the culprit, let's go over this case one last time. I kind of needed to, because I'm just trying to understand why he felt the need to do this. Yeah, there's no rush. Just take your time. Phew, thanks. Then let's begin the summary. Tomoe, if there's anything wrong, please let me know. Tomoe is... what happened with Tomoe, please? I need to understand. From now on, a climax reason will begin with like an explanation. Let's just hear explanation. Climax reasoning is a minigame that puts pieces to piece together with flow of interpretation from the form of context and gaps. Missing players both to repeat giving guessing squares into missing gaps. There are both correct and incorrect reasoning squares available, so fill them carefully. When the correct square and one set are done, is done. They are replaced with a new set. Repeat this until all the spaces are filled and the game is cleared. Hints are displayed when you align the crosshair with the given square and press Q, so take note of that. No penalties, the game over, so relax and play the events with ease. Climax reason will now begin. Okay, so we got not. Wait, how do I select it? Okay, hint. How do we see the hint? Did I just miss that? I'm confused. I'm pressing everything and I just don't. I can't even see what it's asking. Okay, hold on. Let me look back at my mod so I can see. This is so terrible. Oh, okay. This probably goes right.
これが事件の全貌だ。
To begin with, it's important to point out that this accident and how. I want to know, how did this happen by accident? To begin with, it's important to point out that this is an incident to homicide that happened by accident. Okay, are we using accident in two different ways? Because I'm trying to understand how this is an accident. The culprit made no preparations whatsoever, and until arriving at the scene, hadn't even considered that they would become a murderer. However, therefore, what the culprit did and where they were before arriving at the scene still expected. However, one thing is certain: the culprit headed to the warehouse at 4:20 p.m. and there they saw the face of Aiden in the tower and the step ladder too. And the culprit, after talking to them, left the scene in just a minute. Everything was fine until this point. Then the culprit headed to the library sometime between 4:20 and 4:30 p.m. Though I'm not sure exactly when, I suspect that they asked Aiden in the tower prison. The culprit who arrived at the library to run his speed track with graduation party. Given the circumstances, it's most likely that she was left the album on the library's desk. It would feel unnatural if we were a murder due to impulse, if it wasn't a murder due to on the album, the culprit approached Kizuki. The culprit, who wasn't in the habit of visiting the library, wouldn't have gone there knowing about Kizuki. Kizuki must have made a noise drawing him near. And then the culprit finds Kizuki. Surprisingly, Kizuki was covered in bloodstains, and there were prints of blood splattered all over the floor. I thought that he was triggered by the bloodstains. That's what happened to Kizuki before. That was while trying to reach a book on the high shelf without the ladder, she accidentally dropped it and fell right on her face. And at the same time, as the notice started, the glasses were knocked off and fell to the floor. Someone like Kizuki was a terrible effect. The fact that her glasses had come off must have been black. Without even thinking about cleaning up the blood, they probably just created a mess, touching the blood everywhere. Meanwhile, the floor was covered with numerous stains from wiping and blood on the sleeves. The culprit didn't care about such circumstances. Are you saying that? Are you like, why though? Are you saying that they were triggered by the blood? The culprit, as if possessed, raised the album they were holding and began to swing at Kizuki. Kizuki did not know what was happening, got hit in the eye from the first blow, and the posture immediately became unstable. And then the second blow landed on Kizuki's temple. Oh, this is so terrible. He hit her first and she was aware of her being hit. And now, he knocks her again. Kill her. This is terrible. I wish it was like a one and done. The culprit wasn't in a rational state, so they probably didn't specifically aim for vital spots. His life ended at that moment. It wasn't just the dead Kizuki who was confused, but the culprit as well. The culprit must have fallen into a panic at the thought of having committed murder impulsively. Even at that moment, their mind was still working. All that's left for the culprit is now to flee. Before that, the culprit must have wiped away the As everyone knows, thanks to laws we learned from Kizuki, we were able to do the fingerprint even if it's with some right? The culprit, the point must have been an immediate, absolutely critical factor like the novel book. Most libraries have a space, so it wouldn't be strange if the culprit's fingerprints be there. They probably only needed to wipe the murder weapon. The culprit added two more deceptive tactics, the first being to leave the weapon unplugged. How was such a simple action considered deception? Because on the floor there were drops of Kizuki's blood. That too was in a way untouched by Kizuki, preserving the original scene. It wasn't like Kizuki wanted to wipe away the blood stains, so the fact that the blood stains remained in the original circular shape and then touched by Kizuki's hand was purely coincidental. However, the culprit tried to turn even that coincidence into one of their own tricks. If they leave the murder weapon on top of the blood that was wiped away, it's a crazy situation where it looks like they haven't done anything except the weapon. In other words, it's a fake piece of evidence that lends credibility to the theory, coupled with touching around the floor to find the glasses. And second, the culprit took two items and fled. The royal toilet paper and a wad of tissue used to wipe off the nosebleed. In other words, the culprit immediately thought of framing Jumonji as the culprit as soon as they surveyed the scene. I want to say that was quite political. The culprit's next destination was a men's locker room. At that time, the culprit was in a situation where they had to roll toilet paper that was by no means small. That was discovered by someone else. It will put them in a situation where the connection to the crime could be exposed. At that time, the place that caught the culprit's eye was the locker room, which was located very close to the library. Based on my experience in such a locker room, you probably know that there are piles of poorly stored toilet paper in there. The culprit searched the locker room and set the toilet paper they took from the scene into a pile of loose toilet paper on the desk. The culprit then moved from the first floor stairs of the school building to the dormitory building. Perhaps they were trying to get to a private room. That will be around between the ages of 9 minutes. Following the move, the culprit encountered an unexpected situation. It just happened to Shinano. Of course, since Shinano did not testify that he witnessed the culprit at the time, the culprit must have checked on Shinano from a distance and in the way. But surprisingly, the culprit didn't reflect on the either. It would be easy to think, I must have had a luck to be almost caught and brushed off, but the culprit was still focused on the object Shinano was holding, even in the midst of everything. I feel like he could have just stopped right here. He could have just stopped. He could have been done with it. That's right, the Post Peak Academy class 5th and 9th graduation album. Since it's not written on the case, they probably couldn't see the number of the as in the video, Shinano mentioned the key word 5th and 9th generation while recording, so it wasn't difficult to figure out who the album belonged to the guys. Anyway, upon realizing the weapon he was carrying was an album of the same kind as the weapon, the culprit quickly started thinking of another plan again, and this was so unnecessary in my opinion. The latter, Mikawa and Ega were carrying the graduation album Shinano was trying to return another weapon. Of course, the possibility that Shinano would discover people divided deep in the library was completely unexpected. The chances of that happening were very low after all. The culprit, having quickly devised the trick, began to rush. According to the culprit's plan, whoever didn't have an alibi after Shinano put the album in the library would be the culprit. They include themselves in that and would be considered pointless. I feel like this is what made his fail. And perhaps due to those efforts bearing fruit, they were able to find Chikanda at a nearby store. Like, this is so unnecessary. This is kind of irritating. All the tricks that the culprit came up with were good, but if there was one element that relied on luck, it was that they never knew when Mikawa would bring the ladder. So the culprit held Chikanda captive for 20 minutes to try to secure their alibi. I think they couldn't hold him any longer after half the store was closed. It wasn't until 4:53 p.m. that they left the store, hoping that Mikawa would come off the ladder. I mean, that also relies on skill on luck, so I don't know. Do they really think like that? Do you really think like that? Or is it just he actually had a motive? And then the culprit returned to their private rooms, and once again, they prepared flowers and headed to the scene. Careful not to know what I don't exactly when that was. It would have been sometime between 4:53 p.m. and 6 p.m. So I think they would have likely headed there as quickly as possible. That thorough preparation was the toilet paper. The job that they were going to do on the scene from now on would be very hands-on, so the option of erasing fingerprints after touching them was very risky. It was quite risky. So annoying! Like, is it just me? Like, I need someone to confirm this. Like, would he still have likely, like, was he just as likely to be caught, or was he more likely to be caught if he hadn't had this other plan he could have implemented? Like, this is too much. This is ridiculous. He probably would have gotten away with it. Well, I keep saying that, but it's just ridiculous. Because the culprit also knew that there were no gloves available in school to use as a substitute. Instead, they were planning to wrap a good amount of toilet paper around their hands and use it as a substitute for gloves. The culprit moved quickly as soon as they arrived back at the scene. First, they checked that the latter had returned, and then they secured the 5th and 9th graduation album in the car, and then they approached Yusuke's body. The book as the murder weapon was placed in the 5th and 9th graduation album case, and the 5th and 9th graduation album was placed in the murder weapon. This was possible because both were the same type of album. Containing completely identical cases. This allowed the culprit to establish an alibi for the murder weapon, enabling them to safely escape suspicion. Of course, the culprit they couldn't have known when Mikao was on the matter, so uncertainty remained. This is exactly why I see the culprit will need to head back to the scene as quickly as possible. As fast as they are, to narrow the time window during which Mikao will abort the matter, making it increasingly certain they have no escape. However, the couple made one mistake in the situation. Using one piece of toilet paper in a damn apartment. It wasn't a fatal piece of evidence, but it did serve as a clue that led to the discovery. And so, that is the crime the couple committed in the truth of this trick. I still have questions. Well, the plan relied solely on ingenuity, observation, improvisation, and a bit of luck. The culprit who built these double and triple disguises engaged in psychological warfare. It is you without a doubt, isn't it? So upset that he's culprit. I really love this. Is there anything you can't do? It's as if you read my mind. Everything is perfect from start to finish. I, Tomoe Rintaro, cannot stand against you, Miyuki. I'll give you my applause. And then Tomoe actually proceeded to clap his hands. Of course, that didn't satisfy me at all. I mean, I have questions still too. A D, yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. You acquired 162 mono coins. You failed discussion. Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh.
Well, I think we're starting to come to conclusion, right? Then there's only one thing left. Voting time. Please use the lever in front of your seats to vote on who will be the blackout. Whether your choice is the correct one or not, the results will tell. Are you all prepared? It's voting time!
Verdict. Last trial closed. Do you want to save the data up until now? Yes, I do.
All right, let's announce the results. The ultimate fashion model, Danganronpa MAUVE, whom you all voted for as the blackened, is correct. Congratulations, Spotless. You've guessed it correctly again.
I need more explanation. The second class trial ended like this. Compared to the first time, our members have become even fewer. We somehow managed to survive this time as well. We can't just be swept away by the atmosphere like back then and remain dazed. I took a step towards the place I needed to go.
Yeah.
Wait, Miyuki! Tell me, why did you kill Kizuki? Tomoe stared deeply into my eyes. It felt like he wanted to peer into my very soul, making my body shiver uncomfortably.
良いことです。
That's a great attitude. I can feel it. That change I made. What? You, of all people, Mr. Miyuki, are now so passionately pressing me. It's proof of a huge change.
ですが、
But do you still not understand about the reason why I killed Miss Kizuki? I thought I'd already provided enough explanation to Mr. Miyuki. Did you really think that just by blabbering about whatever suits you, the message will get across? How can that be? What about the rest of you? Does anyone here fully understand why I took Kizuki's life? I don't know that kind of reason.
不愉快だ。
Is there a reason to be curious? Right now I have no thoughts other than wanting to escape this unpleasant place as quickly as possible. I need closure. I'm afraid of you, Mr. Tomoe. Who exactly are you? This is going to be a long story. Fortunately, I think I'll have enough time to share my story.
なんだ。
What kind of story is this? Isn't it a simple story where you committed murder after seeing the motive? Yeah, I'm like, wait a second. His Japanese has been normal. I've noticed in the last time, like the last few sentences I had to read from him when we was in non-stop debate. Oh, not non-stop debate, but we were still in the debate. He didn't have broken sentences. He had fully formed sentences. So, that's interesting. Oh, Justin, your Japanese has become fluent again. To witness such a scene twice. Don't beat around the bush. Just tell me. I need to know about your stupid motivation already. When Justin really raised his voice, Tomoe smiled and raised both hands.
ええ。
Yes, yes, I understand. Although, from my perspective, it's not a good thing. You're all the winners, and I'm the loser. As a loser, I shouldn't ruin the atmosphere, right? As Mr. Justin pointed out, my motive did not significantly influence the fact that I committed the murder. They simply reached out to me when I was wandering aimlessly. Then, why would you...
当然でしょう。
Haven't you already deduced it? This was impulsive killing. Yeah, we've heard that. I simply followed my art faithfully. Come on, Nintendo, you're making me irritated, for real. In other words, at that time, I killed Miss Kizuki because I wanted to kill her. Mr. Kizuki's death is not meaningless. Miss Kizuki's death is not meaningless. It was also a significant outcome that reflects my will. What do you mean by that? What does that even mean? What? What is that? This disgusting bastard. Was he about to slap him or something? I heard footsteps coming from behind me. Before I knew it, she didn't know how to come closer, bumped my shoulder as he passed by, and grabbed Tomoe by the collar. Okay, she don't know. How did you know he'd do something like this? I knew you'd do something like this, you murderer. So, life is precious? You're going to volunteer in a remote area? Make friends? It was all lies. All of it was complete bullshit. Did you have a hard time holding back your laughter while you're trying to make yourself look fit like that? Did we look like an entire joke to you? Answer me, you psychopath! Do you know something that we know, or are you just in your feelings?
とはいえ。
Please calm down, Mr. Shirano. If you get so worked up, you won't be able to hear Shut up! I will never listen to your fake pretentious bullshit ever again. I tried my best, and yet I tried so hard to do something. Why? Why do these selfish monsters keep showing up? Shino's words couldn't continue until the end. The grip on Tomo's collar slowly loosened, and Shino, with his knees buckled, soon collapsed to the ground.
そうだ
Yeah, that's right. Do we have any obligation to listen to you? Cut the crap and just give a real reason.
Although I was already painfully aware of this, it seems I'm quite lacking my ability to persuade others. There's absolutely nothing to be getting my needle's going from anger like this. I think it's best to explain things in chronological order. But Tomoe briefly stroked his chin as a gag in response, then placed a hand on his skull's neck. Yeah, I noticed that you have a scar on your neck. I'm very confused. First, I should probably talk about my scar. Has anyone noticed a change?
The scarring is so casually. There's no way we could have noticed.
Also, I'm so irritated right now. I've noticed that the connection has been bad this whole time. I'm so confused. My Wi-Fi says it's good, but for some reason, OBS is acting like this. Hold on. Let me see if my signal is okay, they're still streaming their own stream right now. So I'm looking at my VOD, and my VOD is all the way back at the argument, the climax region. This is so bad.
There's no way we would have noticed.
So you noticed. In that case, let's speed things up a bit. Just before Tomoe made his final desperate struggle, he shook off his heavy burdens that they had been told. Perhaps it was that scar, discarded with a carefree casualty, like a bird preening its feathers before taking flight.
なるほど
Could you focus on this, please? I'm not sure if it'll be noticeable. Tomoe then pointed the area around the middle of her neck. No. Isn't that a scar? It's been bothering me for a while now.
ええ
That's right. This is a glorious medal I received during my middle school years. What's so special about it? I have scars like that all over my body. Is it value something that typically you assign for yourself, Mr. Justin? The scars on Justin's body must have much each hold their own meaning.
で
So, you used to wear that scarf to cover up the scar, right?
ええ
When I was young, I was bullied. Totalitarian culture of this country simply does not acknowledge the concept of difference. I must have been a prime target of this society, chasing that elusive value called beauty. Back then, there was a friend who helped me. Without caring, they were also bullied. They truly listened to my story.
That story? You told me before. About being bullied. You said you experienced it.
That was it.
落ち着いて
Hi. No matter how you look at it, it's a trivial matter. Why are you being so strict and serious about me? Don't you have any friends? You don't have any. Wait. You don't have any friends, do you? Okay, that's.
Eh?
Why is this sprite showing up in this flashback? Wow, how did you know? Actually, I was bullied in middle school, so I didn't have any classmates to share my feelings with. That's what you said before. To think you remember even the stories I shared as I'm passing. I, Ringo Tomoe, am truly touched. So emotional. Or something like that. Regardless, unfortunately, as things stand, some cannot view my friend favorably. Because that friend is the one who left me with the scar.
それは
How did that even happen? If it's not too much to ask.
そうですね
It's possible that it's self-imposed punishment driven by resentment towards me, the one who caused their ostracization. Or it could have been orchestrated by the group that was leading the bullying, promising that they will stop it if the act was committed. Since there was no one to ask, or any need to ask, I still don't know the reason. Excuse me. So, in the end, you never know.
ですね
But I realized the most important thing. The blade buried deep, blood gushing from the gaps between my fingers, wrapped around my neck, and the stench of blood mixed with the air in my lungs. I ended up feeling something in that moment. Something?
ええ
That was the first time. Keep that in mind. Tomoe held up one long finger, and before I could even grasp a bit of the story, he just moved the transition to the next one. Time passed, and we slapped, and then 4 days had gone by since I set foot in the school.
え
Suddenly you're skipping ahead. It's been 4 days.
ちゃうんか
You mean when the first class trial was held, right?
ええ
That's right. To elaborate further, it was the day that Misty Water and Miss Fukuoka passed away. So, my emotions about Misty Water's body were sincere. I felt a sense of outrage. I wanted to immediately catch the one who extinguished this person's life. I barely suppressed my desire to have insults right into their face. I couldn't bring myself to feel any other way. Don't lie. Are you being hypocritical even at the brink of death?
どうかな
You were wrong. I have never been as pure, as unguarded, and as honest as I am in this moment. Please do not insult my confession at the gaze of a mere commoner. Oh my god. Shirota, let's hear the whole story first and then make the judgment for ourselves.
よろしい
Are you finished? There are no interruptions. I will continue the story. I believe you are already familiar with the developments that followed. At the end of the deduction, Mr. Fukuoka was singled out as a culprit and was dragged to the execution platform and into that large oven. It's coming back to me. That scene again. That was the second time. What are you trying to say? When Miss Fukuoka began to burn inside the oven, she started to shed tears of blood. I felt it again. Inexplicable feeling. I stayed up all night thinking about it after returning to my private room that day. There was no way I could have been wrong, even if I was bleeding out my own consciousness fading. Even if I was bleeding out in my consciousness faded, that feeling embraced me with perfect clarity.
実は
You've been talking about feelings repeatedly, but we really don't understand when you express even such high feelings. Could you at least describe what it was like? Wouldn't that have been a negative emotion? Wasn't it something both of them could have felt upon someone's final breath? That's the strange part. My gut feeling interpreted it as a rapture. What did you say? That's interesting. Seriously? Are you actually insane? So, you're saying you enjoyed yourself while you were dying and while watching others die?
はい
Okay, I need some more clarity, please. I need some more clarity. That's exactly correct. I've spent time trembling with anxiety, wondering if I've gone mad at some unknown moment in my life. I also began to question my own beliefs and reflected on my mental health. But no matter how I look at it, I, Rintaro Tomoe, was a divine messenger who revered and worshipped life. When you were saying your beliefs were wavering, was that the reason? That's why you did it?
え
That's right. Even before bringing that up, when Mr. Mikao was bleeding from his nose, my heart was once again fluttering in yet another strange direction.
あれ
Your blood. Blood? Blood! That surprised me. Tomoe suddenly saw blood and jumped up screaming while Tadaira, who was sitting next to him, covered her ears.
えっと
Are you trying to say that he saw the blood that Nika was bleeding from her nose and he wanted to make more blood? Like, was he even trying to kill her? Was he just trying to make her bleed more? For some reason. Is a nosebleed really that surprising, Tomoe? Before seeing Miss Fukuoka's death, I had never felt that way when I saw blood. This is crazy. I too had no idea what was happening inside of me. In the midst of those days that felt like walking on thin ice, today has finally come.
ですが
However, there was one part where Mr. Okay, I was not reading his voice, sorry, I was reading my own voice. However, there was one part where Miyuki's reasoning is incorrect. I didn't hear about the library from the warehouse. In fact, I had been planning to visit the library for quite some time. What? Mr. Miyuki and Mrs. Yumonji had to withdraw from the investigation due to fatigue, and it seemed Mrs. Kizuki was in a tight spot, so she asked me for help. She asked if it would be possible to visit the library around lunchtime if I had some free time. The story after that, I remember every single word vividly. For the sake of the late Miss Kizuki, I must convey everything to you all exactly as it was. It's been a while since I've been to the library. Instead of wasting my free time, I should at least delve into the works of favorite great authors. I still have a long way to go myself. What are all these albums scattered on the desk? I think it would be best if whoever was reading this puts it back where it belongs. It can't be helped. I'll take care of organizing this myself. Was that Miss Kizuki or Tomoe? Is that you, Tomoe? Ah, yes, it's me. Just a moment, please. You were quite far back, weren't you? I almost missed you. Miss Kizuki, are you injured? I'm alright. You don't have to worry. I was trying to take a book out and ended up hitting up my face. My clothes are covered in blood. It seems the bleeding has somewhat stopped, so I think I should change my clothes first. If I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have tried to be so nosy and investigate things on my own while waiting for you. Tomoe? Tomoe, are you okay? What's wrong? Tomoe? You're scaring me. Huh? You're not that kind of person. Oh God. This is crazy! That pink hue between the yellow flesh, the dark crimson reeking of blood, the pale ashen hue of the skull, a shy crimson brain. Ah! What the heck? So, just slightly. Please hold off on that, please. Let's hold off on that for now. We don't want to get things out of order. I intend to pay respect to Miss Kizuki, but it will be unwise to ruin everything due to a momentary impulse. What is he saying? Surprisingly, the thought I had upon seeing Miss Kizuki was, I just want to break Kizuki completely. Hello? Hello? Please? Like, hello? Oh my gosh.
ですが
However, at the same time, there was the third instant. This was the third moment I experienced that rapture. I was overwhelmed by confusion upon confusion, and ultimately had no choice but to take the best action at that moment.
Mr. Tubboy, weren't you the one who fabricated the circumstances to make Miss Jumonji look like the culprit back then?
当然でしょ
That's right. I disguised myself because I was confused. In other words, that's what you meant back then. You disguise yourself to buy as much time as possible to think what your true feelings. Okay. I understand. I see. To at least delay you from being framed as the culprit as much as possible.
え
Yes, that's correct. Mr. Miyuki, you do understand me. That's not it. I just thought that this is how things would fit together. I want to avoid being seen like a stranger any longer.
そうですね
That's so. It's a shame. Anyway, since each of you is an outstanding individual, I never thought for a moment that I could deceive you until the end. In fact, even Mr. Shitanda had completely grasped the truth even before the trial. My true objective was to somehow explain why I killed Kizuki before the trial ends. Is that so? Because I was confused. It was about stalling for time until I could understand why I wanted to kill Miss Kizuki. Instead of using flashy tricks, I set traps by subtly twisting your methods of deduction. And you realize that just before you gave it up, as you said.
え
Indeed, even though I used every trick I could muster to block your path, you ultimately caught me without much trouble. I desperately tried somehow to make up for the lacking time, but in the end, I even failed at that. Just before giving up, and before things get worse, right before honestly confessing, Mr. Miyuki's words reminded me of that prophecy I had tucked away in my pocket. Do not turn away from your own art, for it is revealing to you a truth more transparent than anything else.
そうか
That's what you were muttering about. That's what you were muttering about not having time. But it's still something I just don't understand at all. So what exactly is that new enlightenment of yours?
良いことです
You understood perfectly. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say everything I've said up until now has been for that very reason. What exactly have I been pursuing as beauty all this time? Being alive cannot simply explain the rapture that occurred 3 times, so this cannot be it. Does that mean I like death? It goes against my life's purpose. I was outraged the time I saw Mr. Iwata's body, so that's not possible. It was only after hearing that sharp piece of advice, don't turn away from your art, that I finally realized it. I was truly foolish. Should I say it was fortunate that I realized it even if it was late? Tomoe paused, his chattering speech momentarily silenced. All eyes were fixed on him, everyone who had been regarding him with looks of loathing and contempt. I love how she's like, okay, can we get this movement? She just cleared her glasses. She's like, I don't really care about any of this.
情けない
Just give us a conclusion. Hurry up. My belief that life is beautiful remains unchanged. However, this is an issue that requires a more sophisticated and in-depth approach. heard this. I feel like I've heard this. I've heard someone say this before. I've heard someone say this before. Was it in another fan game that I watched? Hold on, let me take a screenshot of this so I can look it up on my own time. I've heard this before. I feel like I've heard another fan game character say something like this. I can't think of it at the moment. My conclusion is that I revere life so much that I consider the moment right before it fades away, when it burns brightest, to be the ultimate beauty. This is crazy. Oh, the music though. The music. Uh-oh, I'm scared now. What? What are you saying? In other words, you think life is most beautiful when it's about to end? Last flash of brilliance. I think I've heard that phrase before. Exactly. It's also called the last flash of brilliance. It's the most beautiful when, just before that fiery pulsing thing flickered out, it desperately struggled to keep its flame alive. Usually we get these people in chapter 3. Well, I took them in chapter 2. What's going to happen in chapter 3? I'm concerned at this point. The sight of Miss Fukuoka's gritting her teeth and shedding tears of blood, the way Miss Kizuki was trembling with convulsions before she passed away, I was utterly captivated by the enchanting allure. Thinking about it that way, everything makes sense. Why I was startled by Miss Fukuoka's nosebleed, and why I wanted to kill Miss Kizuki. And at times, Kizuki was wearing a white coat stained with blood from the nosebleed. To me, she looked like a woman on the verge of death. Certainty. The ultimate beauty lies in ambiguity between life and death. Paradoxical. That's why life burns to black. Originates from the moment of death. Do you understand? The moment when life and death converge with their destinies brushing past each other in a fleeting instant, unable to connect. Art in a fleeting moment. Aesthetics in a fleeting moment. In that fleeting moment, I, holding the blood-stained book, dared to challenge Pygmalion's name. I don't know who that is. Oh, okay. Thank you for the note. Tio note. Pygmalion is a Greek myth about a sculptor who falls in love with a statue and is brought to life. Oh, Miss Kizuki, I sincerely apologize for having to mention you, my true friend, in such a captivating manner. But I don't want to stop either. Since I'm not good at explaining things, I've endured it until they understand. No longer can I bear this. It's like my blood is boiling. My veins are cooking from within. It's like pus has filled my spine. Ugh, this is nasty. I can't take it anymore. Excuse me, how could you tremble so beautifully with your entire body? Your lips, so small, linger with words left unsaid, tormenting me. Even a master craftsman of the century finds it hard to carve without breaking. Thanks to those slender fingers that were able to dance one last time. Those eyes will drop the quickest. Because of that, we'll be able to hold the soul until the very end. He's a poet, kind of stuff. I gotta commend the poetry. Especially the rare is the best. White color is hard to keep clean. Like spilling an ink bottle onto blank paper. Like trampling snow with heavy boots. When blood slowly starts to seep out, staining your clothes, your hair, your face, everything is white. If I realized then what I was capable of, I would have dropped on my knees and prayed instead of running away so disgraceful. Boy, what is wrong with you? Disgracefully. Oh, I missed that. Oh, there was a little picture of him when he was a child. I missed it. I wasn't paying attention. What the heck is wrong with you? No one stopped Tomoe as he rampaged, desecrating the dead with cheap flowery language. That one to say that Tomoe was being completely ignored. It was evident in the expressions of the audience. Confusion, disgust, unease, and contempt. Those terrible hues were plastered across every face. Was this how King Midas felt? It feels like a terrible fever has broken all at once. It makes me feel even more regretful that I couldn't compete with all of you, because I'll never get to see your executions. Oh my god. What is wrong with you? The passings of 12 beautiful ultimate students. It makes me catch my breath just imagining it, and my mind feels numb. Wouldn't it be an honor just to behold such a beautiful sight? Further conversation will be meaningless. I'm scared. Criticism. I'm used to it. In a short span of over a decade, I've learned that my aesthetic is already difficult to understand. It felt like living in a sealed room where no one could reach me. Is that the kind of person who crushed Kizuki's hopes like this? Kizuki wanted more than anything to connect with someone. She came to school because she hated being alone in her own room. Kizuki would never be able to leave that locked room now. And why do you still not realize that you are trapped in that sealed room? Look around. See those eyes filled with terror and disgust. That is truly a shame. I'm an open person now. Haven't you noticed? Me, filled with newfound understanding and more confident and joyful than ever before. Transcending my foolish past self, I am elated to spread my intentions across this world right this moment. It's truly disappointing that you don't seem to understand.
Tomoe, you were never an ordinary person to begin with. I wish you just kept talking about loving and living just like before. Back then, even though you felt a bit overwhelming, I thought you were someone with a strong core and upright kindness. Right now, you're just a delusional psychopath who doesn't even realize you're spinning in circles in your own world. Are you even sorry for Kizuki, who's dead now?
I love his eyes though. His eyes keep changing. I noticed that they keep going back and forth. You're doing the same thing again. Why do you all make such assumptions of me? I guess it was of me like that. I just can't understand it.
What?
Why wouldn't I feel sorry for Miss Kizuki? I am also sad that she's not here with us. As someone who considered her a friend, I am utterly devastated that Miss Kizuki was the one who had to suffer. However, if it hadn't been for Miss Kizuki's death, would I have been able to achieve this understanding? You shouldn't have achieved this understanding. You should have achieved this understanding in a therapist's office. That's where you should have achieved this understanding. I don't think so. So, I intend to live carrying Miss Kizuki's will on my back so that I will never forget. That's wrong. You're gonna die. I couldn't help but interject at this point. Kizuki loved animals, including people, more than anything else, and she wanted to make friends more than anyone else. And you completely trampled both of those dreams. Kizuki wouldn't have wanted to be carried on the back of a murderer like that. If Kizuki were alive and saw you, what do you think she would have said? You were pretty close with her, so you should have some idea, right? Why am I like this? Why am I so angry about Kizuki's death? I mean, it's understandable why you'd be angry about it.
Well, you brushed it off as no big deal yesterday, but with this amnesia, I couldn't help but feel uneasy. And it is a zoologist's nature not to be able to turn away from a sick animal.
大丈夫。
As I said, I don't do anything grand like nursing. I just kept an eye on you. It's not a big deal. How could you do that? How ignorant are you about what phobias are? How do I look? Why are you so eager to pick on my Miyuki? He's been like this before, just clinging to Miyuki with baseless accusations and derailing the discussion. Can't you just let it go? Is Miyuki really that suspicious? Do you hate him that much? I just want to protect the friends I have left. Even if things are this way, they are my first friends I ever made.
Oh, Baraja Dika moment. I'm so sorry, Dika, that you had to be. I'm so sorry, Dika, you had to suffer this fate. Of course, I've taken into account that Miss Mizuki might dislike me as well, Mr. Mizuki. What?
当然
If Miss Mizuki were alive and saw me today, she will surely scold me severely. This is the path, far removed. This is the path, far removed for the beauty that Miss Mizuki pursues. That's why I was even more determined to take on that burden as well. There were friends who shared my art and held views opposite to mine. I would cherish them for a lifetime. I should be a benefactor for a lifetime. To spend a lifetime with her, isn't that beautiful? As I mentioned before, it's called tolerance.
ですが
However, I do not mean to disrespect Miss Mizuki's will to lift our broken arms and to stop again once more. I hope you can see the difference. So then, you don't agree with my personal beliefs, but you agree with my promise to save as many people as possible within the limits of what I can do? It's called tolerance.
ええ
That's correct.
あ
What is it?
それなら
It's a concept that originates from friends. It means understanding, love, and respect others' thoughts and other wishes. You don't agree with me.
I do not agree with your opinion. However, you are being persecuted for that. I will fight to the end for freedom of speech. Isn't that a quote where you respect transcending time and space? Oh my gosh. It struck me and you that the madman standing before my eyes was undoubtedly Tomoe. With Kyuzuki's blood on his hands, he was spouting words that make no sense. Despite everything, Tomoe had persistently tried to overcome this murder game with us. It was indeed that Tomoe who was given a long speech about the beauty of life. That sense of disconnection tightens around my heart even more. Praise the Lord.
ああ
Upon reflection, perhaps Miss Kizuki would have passed away. Should have passed away. She understood me, but that understanding was far from my true self. Perhaps Miss Kizuki would have been trying to stop me until the very end. She would have. From Miss Kizuki's perspective, she would have wanted me to remain as someone simply loved life. Well, I'm not sure if it's appropriate to tell you this. It seems my beliefs are wavering these days. It's a ridiculous thing to say.
What are you talking about? You're the one who cherishes and loves life more than anyone else. You talk to yourself about animals, about volunteering in remote areas like Africa.
そうですね
You're right. I can't clearly explain the turmoil in my art either. Some life is so disguised as a place. At least I say those are the least things I have ever heard of. I was wondering what I should say.
大丈夫
And you just have to make it precious again.
Miss Kizuki.
No matter what my opinion says, if you're strong or ill, I won't be able to define this thing at all, okay? There's no reason for your waver.
Whoa!
You're not that kind of person.
However, when Miss Kizuki passed away, at the same time, I have also obtained the key to enlightenment. I don't believe that this is a coincidence. It was only after I killed the only person who truly understood me with these hands that I finally understood who I truly am. The irony. My life is so mixed up and tangled that I don't know whether to smile or cry. Completely at a loss. I had no intention of interrupting. No, I missed things. feel selfish towards regular Kizuki, that destructive aura, to that blind love. You burden yourself out far more than I did, so I'm just trying to keep myself from reaching those horrifying thoughts. Well, it's all rather anticlimactic, isn't it? In the end, my schemes and ambitions crumble before your will. Was it my shortcomings, or did you simply have ideals that surpass my beauty?
大丈夫だよ。
No, but it was pretty fun to solve. It's not even comparable to sitting in my room with a puzzle book. With your level of intelligence, you can certainly be proud of being a clever culprit.
いや、
Truthfully, I didn't particularly expect that praise. I'd like to hear your assessment of my beauty.
え
Oh, she done that! She done that! Huh? That's just a load of garbage. A bunch of bullcrap philosophy. Why are you even spouting that embarrassing stuff anyway? Oh, she done that? I apologize. Since all that waits me now is an execution.
Yeah, of course. If you like the moment of death so much, why don't you go and die yourself?
To be honest, I had a vague thought about that ever since I was accused of being the culprit. I'm a person who has already stared death in the face, aren't I? Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to feel it again. Of course, it's possible that those stray thoughts are the reason I haven't found a breakthrough.
さて、
Before that, there's something I'd like to ask Monokuma, if you have a moment.
は
What are you going to ask?
あ
This is no, you know what's gonna be crazy though? What's gonna be crazy is that it would be so crazy if he's like, what is the Rhetorica? Is it this magical, wondrous machine that shows blah 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 blah, whatever? And the Monokuma's like, it's just a toy I got from a junkyard or something like that. And then he is filled with this despair from the fact that he was so persuaded by this piece, by this nonsense, by this I don't know, this gimmick. I don't know. I just feel like that's what's gonna happen. I don't know, but Monokuma might say that is actually magic. I don't know, because it does seem to be particularly catered to specific people, which is interesting. What exactly is that machine called Rhetorica? I had never experienced anything like that before. It was like seeing a person, no, something beyond that. Okay, he's gonna say that. Okay. I was like, it would be crazy if we just said it was a piece of garbage.
I told you, it's something I specially brought in that was a huge hit in Mono Land. The effects are guaranteed, I tell you.
何しとるん
What's wrong with your head? Pull yourself together. That thing is just a piece of metal, you know. Why are you going on and on like you're some kind of expert praising it so much?
いや
What's wrong with his head? Why else would he be acting like that? I mean, what's wrong with his head? Why else would he be acting like that? Why would he bother trying to lecture a guy like him? It's best to leave him alone.
いいのでしょうか
Are you finished? If so, may I ask you a question?
ええ
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead. Oh, the needles. I forgot all about the needles. Oh, I forgot all about the needles. Do you recall the needle that supposedly wait, do you recall the needle that was supposedly stuck to the doorknob of my private room? The person who installed that, it wasn't Mr. Tomoe after all. Yeah, that's crazy. We saw someone who was trying to kill somebody. Right. I was so focused on that case, I completely forgot about that.
あ
Ah, right. That did happen. Of course, I didn't install it. As I mentioned, it's only now that I've come to truly appreciate the value of beauty. What possible reason could I have for using such a trap to harm Miss Tadira at that time? Is that really the case? That ultimately means
あ
it is truly regrettable for that traitor among you who seeks to harm not only Mr. Tadira, but others still present. Ah, of course, if that person had been Miss Kizuki, the story would be different. but I can't imagine Suzuki would ever do such a thing. Oh gosh. Yeah, this group is going to collapse. Like, this leadership. I don't know. We still have someone who's trying to hide and act like that they're all innocent. Damn it. In the end, we found ourselves continuing to harbor this intense tension and suspicion. The moment of relief of having found the killer had already vanished.
さて
I've answered your questions, and I think I've done everything I can for you all. Well, I have one last favor to ask. Mr. Tomoe, not me calling him Mr. Tomoe. Tomoe then suddenly jumped into the center of the courtroom. He started making eye contact with all of us as we walked around in a circle. Please remember who I was. There was a human named Rintaro Tomoe, the ultimate fashion model, a divine messenger, or simply a lamb who appreciated beauty. Please engrave this in those two eyes of yours.
Eh?
Whoa, this is right, crazy. Get away, get away! Sadara, yes. Sadara.
I can't see myself sometimes. Really noisy. It's really noisy.
At least for the youngest then.
Oh dear, the students are getting rowdy. I suppose we better begin the punishment quickly.
If you could remember even a little about my values and true beauty, the past 10 years of my life will never have been in vain, and I too can close my eyes with a little more satisfaction.
I've prepared a very special punishment for the ultimate fashion model, Rintaro Tomoe.
Even if it's just a fragment of memory, I couldn't ask for more than to be with all of you. Please, let me...
Shall we run it together then?
Please remember me!
It's punishment time!
I don't know what to think about you, Nintaro, now. I don't know what to think of you. Nintaro Tomoe has been found guilty. It's time for the punishment. Stage. Oh, look at him. There's fashion. Okay, look at you. Oh. Oh, oh! Not the needle. Life role model artist. Oh wow. Why do I feel like I've also seen this somewhere before? Oh my god. Why do I feel like I've seen like this needle